Ja, dann würde ich mal sagen, gucken wir uns nochmal den New Content an. Hast du gerade ein Telefon gehört?
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Ich wollte mir den New Content angucken und auf einmal kommt hier ein Anruf rein. Den hier.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Gibt neuen Content. Mal gespannt.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Was?
Yes, you
420.
see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Meinst du? Nicht so sicher.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
They're back. 2 doors. Die Farbe rot. Holistic Value auch. Oh Gott.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
New Features. New Content. Bin ich ja mal gespannt, was wir anzubieten haben. Wirklich mal gespannt. Der Eimer.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
So viel Zeug hier. Merch. Ich. Bürodekoration. Unendliches Loch. Beruhigungseimer. Ich will den Beruhigungseimer.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Das ist Bullshit. Aber ein Eimer.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Tja, Eimer, Alter. Kann ich es mit dem machen? Oh, das Baby ist jetzt erwachsen. Krass. Bankruptcy. Raytracing. Alter, das Spiel hat doch kein Raytracing. New features, new content, new ideas. No screenshots. Achso, please no screenshots. Red is the new orange. Whole new offer. Hear your name in the game?
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Ich wette, die kriegen meinen Namen nicht richtig.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and... Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim, rediscovering yourself through fringe religious groups as Jim, and finally dying a slow death at an old age, surrounded by members of your cult as Jim. Do you feel it in your soul? Are you really, truly Jim? All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on? See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says, but no. Instead, oh, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
No! Jim! Ah. Ruhe in Frieden, der Jim-Button.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable too. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Log. Free, new and easy achievement. Einstellungen Weltmeister. Was?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Ja. Blau oder lila? Ich weiß nicht. Sieht besser aus als. Allein deshalb.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Was?
Get Well Someday it is.
Du Arschloch! Erst fragt er uns und dann macht er was anderes.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Free Achievement. Pull the lever, also zieh am Hebel. Receive your new achievement. No more steps.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Test Achievement. Unachieved.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Na gut.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Collectibles. Jump Circle gibt's auch wieder, ja? Achievement this map. Ja. Ja. Die Achievement bei Q, da waren wir. N ist der Jump Circle. Soll doch hier sein, oder? Ist er ja wieder, der Jump Circle.
You know what? Let's bring the Jump Circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the Jump Circle?
Mist.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Arschloch. Collectible. Ooh.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Wow. 1 von 6. Ist das dämlich.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Okay. War's doch jetzt quasi, oder? Auf zum Exit.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Letzte Mal, ja. Was ist hier?
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes,
Nicht
I know it's
wirklich.
not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Oh Gott. Glaube nein.
Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Fuck. Soll ich da hinkommen?
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't
Stimmt, da gab's doch noch so ein Loch.
at all. It's a lot of
Wo ist denn das Loch gewesen?
And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to
Ich hab das
anything.
unendliche Loch gar nicht gesehen.
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic
Haben wir das
of the
unendliche Loch
first
verpasst?
game. I wanted
Nein!
fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Das ist ja lustig. Das finde ich jetzt aber... Ach, das ist Meta. Richtig Meta. Das war's.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Das ist immer noch Teil von dem... Ja. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Der Eimer.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Was ist, wenn wir jetzt...
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend.
Lifelong friend!
Hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Alter.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Nice. Property of Stanley.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Nice.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Weiß nicht. Oh, das war... War das im Keller? Hatten das nicht im Eimer? War, glaube ich, an der rechten Tür, oder? Ganz ehrlich, ich mach nur noch diesen Run jetzt fertig. Und dann mache ich für heute. Aber vielleicht können wir das ja dann morgen früh. Eigentlich. Ist ja jetzt schon morgen. Vielleicht können wir das ja dann morgen, nicht früh, nachmittags oder so nochmal weitermachen. Aber ich mache jetzt nur noch diesen Run fertig. Wir sind ja eigentlich auch schon wieder seit heute Nachmittag am
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Kannst deine
Was the
Empfindlichkeit?
bucket guiding him? Yes. This is
Ach so, ja,
certainly
ich muss laut
no
reden, ne?
explanation.
Ich habe das ja so extra hochgestellt, damit ihr das Geböllere nicht hört. Das hört jetzt langsam auf, da kann ich jetzt vielleicht, hast recht, langsam mal wieder zurückdrehen. Geböllere war ja echt schlimm. So, ich denke, jetzt sollte es ein bisschen besser sein. Oder ich muss halt echt laut reden. Besser jetzt? Ah.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Der Eimer. Ja, das mit dem Eimer müssen wir dann echt nochmal gucken. Das nächste Mal dann. Ich denke, das bleibt jetzt irgendwie erhalten oder sowas. Oder man kann das dann nochmal wiederholen.
The elevator raced down,
Aber ich will jetzt einfach nur noch den Run zu Ende machen.
fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape mit dem Bucket müssen wir dann auch mal probieren, ne? Aber nicht mehr heute.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like
Unser
guinea
Office.
pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Best Buddy Bucket.
He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good.
For
Two
he
best
and the
friends,
bucket.
Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Yo, bucket power. Bucket alive.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to skis in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end.
Was? Wer macht denn sowas?
True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and What? Wait. What was happening?
Was?
Why had the door stopped?
Hey!
Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket.
Nein.
No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Ist das ein beschissenes Ende? Nein, die sind nicht rausgekommen wegen dem Eimer. Geil. Oh Gott, oh Gott, oh Gott. Aber ich mache hier jetzt Feierabend. Nach einem guten Schlaf, vielleicht irgendwann am Nachmittag oder am Abend, würde ich hier nochmal ansetzen und nochmal gucken, was wir noch für andere Enden finden. Ich hoffe mal, hier gibt es noch echt viel zu erkunden. Macht echt irgendwie Gaudi, muss ich sagen. Wenn ich jetzt zum Menü rausgehe, dann ist jetzt aber auch nicht mein ganzer Fortschritt weg, oder? Wenn ich dann später wieder reingehe, bleibt der Bucket freigeschaltet und so ein Zeug? Oder wie läuft das? Das wüsste ich gerne mal.